Welcome, welcome, welcome to Garnetqueentarot, where we are inspired to rise and to be our best selves. I want everyone here, when you listen to this video, I don't want you to just rush through it. If you don't have the time right now, don't even bother. I want you to work on being your best self and appreciate the moments. I say to you today, remember I was telling you all last year that my brother had passed away. I have 7 siblings. Well, I'm number 6. So my father had 2 daughters before he got my mom, and then she came and made 7 of us. So total family member of 9. And I want you to understand something. You know that tomorrow is not promised to any of us, right? I want you to recognize that every moment in your life is important. That's why I want to focus on this detox. I want you all to get a cleansing and gain your perspective as far as who you are. I want you to be able to represent the messages that are in your life and comprehend, gain clarity, and understand them. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us. We're always so fast bustling through life and going from this point to that point. But I say to you today, there must be meaning in your life. Today is the 19th of November, a Tuesday. From today on, if you haven't appreciated who you are and what you bring to the table, because all of us represent a part of the fabric. We are part of the puzzle. All of us have a gift inside of us. Whether people recognize it or not, heck, whether we recognize it or not, we all represent something. We all represent something great. Even if we don't know what that is. This detox that I'm doing November and December is gaining clarity. The majority of the year is done. We're already at the 19th of November. We only have December left and a week or 2 at this month. And I'm saying to you, you have to be able to identify your gifts, understand and comprehend what you bring to the table, and allow your gifts to shine, allow you to shine. The questions that come to me every day, it's like people want to be able to know. We come close. We don't always hit it on the head completely, but we gain some type of clarity when we're forging forward, when we're experiencing life. There are messages that we've left on the floor, not picked up and put on the table, where we could gain understanding and clarity, but sometimes you just don't know. You just don't know. And I want people to understand who they are, what they represent, what they bring to the table. You have to be able to understand who you are. If you don't have time right now to listen to this message, don't bother. You have to be able to sit down in your moment. I don't want you all to just breeze through these videos and, oh, okay, whatever. I want you to stop, look, and listen. Be you. Be the best you possible. When my brother passed away last year, it was like a reality check. It was really a reality check. Out of my mom's 7, 1 was gone. And you see, my mother passed away in 2018. And now my brother passed away in 2023. When you're living in the moment of life, you get to experience certain things and adjust yourself accordingly. Some people stay down, mourn, suffer, sabotage, and some people find the will to keep going through it all. Whether you understand it or not, through it all. But when you start coming into terms with who you are, I love these feelings because it's like you have questions that are unanswered and you're going through the motions of life trying to figure things out. None of us have all the answers. Sometimes we see things, sometimes we feel things. Like I could feel pain right now. I could see questions. Sometimes you could look at someone and know that they have something on their mind, that they're going through something. And not everybody struggles or mourns in the same time frame. Some people say, oh, get over it. They don't know how that hits your heart. Then my sister-in-law came. Last year, she buried her brother's wife. That was last year. What was it, January or February? Then, and she was at the funeral taking pictures, celebrating with them, celebration of life of his wife. Then, this year, she falls into a coma. She has cancer, which she just found out last year. Falls into a coma close to the end of the last year and ends up dying in January. The year before she was burying her sister-in-law. This year she's being buried. There are no answers to questions definitely until you experience something. But what I'm saying to you, that's why I'm doing this detox. I want you to cleanse yourself and just get in tune with who you are and get in tune with your life. It's so many experiences. I know that this has helped me to get in tune with a lot. I know that I've been back and forth, because when feelings arouse inside of you and you don't tend to them, you tend to hold things. I want you all to understand who you are, what you represent, what you bring to the table, and cleanse your spirit, cleanse yourself. The people that come up against you as foes or fake friends, their experiences, whether you like it or not, represent something in your life. They're part of the fabric of your life. And what messages you take from that fabric is up to you. But most important, value yourself and figure out what it is that makes you tick, what it is that makes you soar. What techniques do you need to utilize to get over the humps and bumps in life? I want this to be like every other day, just us thinking about things, thinking about our lives. If you're in a miserable relationship and you just continue for the sake of saying, I got somebody, who's hurting there? Who's being fooled there? I know this arrogant man, and he was always talking, he figured he's got his family, he's got his 2 kids, and his wife was there. But as soon as the last child went off to college, she told him she wanted a divorce. Let me tell you something, I encounter these things every day. She told him she wanted a divorce. He was shocked. Very arrogant, and his wife this, and she knows what she has, and blah, 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 blah. But never really in aligning himself with her. They go through the motions, or I should say they went through the motions, and, he's a good father, he's there for his children, and she wanted to make sure her kids didn't grow up in a single-family household. But after they were gone, she tuned into herself, aligned herself with her truth. She wasn't happy. She wasn't happy. And she just felt that, you know what? I don't need to keep doing this. For what? What do I need to keep doing this for? My kids are grown. I'm not happy. There's things that I want to achieve and encounter in my life. And this person is not part of the plan moving forward. She divorced him. When you start knowing and understanding what's going to make you thrive, what's going to make you happy, you start to see things and feel things that you didn't feel and see before, because you're now recognizing your truth. This whole detox the last couple of months, I mean, when you think about it, today's the 19th of November. We only have a month left in December. So whatever week or two we have left this month, celebrate Thanksgiving, give thanks to all that you have, even if it's not where you want to be. If you have food to eat, you have a roof over your head, even if you're staying with family and friends until you get on your feet, appreciate all that you have in life. Don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you do have. I know a lady, she lost her job, and the people where she was living, the house she was living in, they decided they were going to sell the house. She had nowhere to go. She had her stuff in storage. She couldn't keep up with the storage payments. Everything that she had in her possession at the weekly she was staying in was all she had left. She lost her storage with everything throughout her whole life. Her whole life. In her 60s, her whole life. She borrowed money to pay for the storage, but couldn't keep up because she couldn't find work. And she finally lost everything. Devastation. And I told her, I said, you're starting over. You're leaving the past behind, and everything had to go. I said, change your perspective on the way that you see it. I know it hurts, and unless it's happened to you, you don't know that feeling. But I said, no matter what, you are still standing. You are still here. Tarot, to me, it reveals so much. It also teaches us or shows us that no matter what we experience in life, we have to rise up from that situation, from those circumstances. People say, oh, easier said than done. Sometimes I see things and I know somebody's being hurt in a relationship. You don't always want to say those things to people. You just put it in a general form and say, if you're in this situation. You know, a lot of times people are hurting, like a Gemini. They get a lot of anxiety. Geminis get this anxiety inside of them. They sense certain things. Capricorns, they stay strong through the storms, even when they're hurting. And sometimes they might curl up in their bed and just cry silently because they don't want people to see the pain that they're feeling. And they may lash out. A Leo wants to stay strong all the time. They don't want people to know that they have weak points. Cancers hold their feelings inside, and they don't want to share too much of themselves with others because they don't want to be hurt. They feel people will use that against them, and they're very sensitive. The slightest thing a Cancer could feel. Libras, they put on that facade that, nothing could touch them. They burst out when things are hurting them, but they don't go to the root of the problem. They camouflage it somewhat. Scorpios, they wear their heart on the sleeve. They are strong, but they're human. And they give their all to everything. They look out for people. They care about people. But sometimes people don't respond the way they should. And they still keep going, even when they're hurting. You could see it in their faces. You could see it in their faces. Taurus, they have their breakdown moments. They're a bull. So they go through a lot. And then when people push those buttons, they could explode on you real quick. Because they keep a lot to themselves. They don't feel comfortable always sharing everything with everybody. They don't want you to judge them or to look at them in a way where you're like, woe is me. So, and they're bulls. They know that they got to protect everything. You know, Aquarius, they're out there. They're out there. Sometimes you just be like, okay, no matter what you say, then they crazy anyway. So they endure, but they hurt and they vent. They'll let you know when they're upset about something. They could be evil. They could be evil. And they as well don't always want you to know their pain, but when it becomes too much, they explode. There's so much out there. Pisces could be so quiet and refined, and you might meet a couple of them that will share their feelings out loud, express themselves the right way, but they're human. Sagittarius like to keep on going, but you know, they take to heart a lot of things that you say, and they might tell other people. They might cut you off. There's so many differences in all of us. All of us. But when you start trying to commingle and bring people together, you start recognizing different traits of different signs, different things. And just like anybody else, you got to get that pat on the back every now and then and realize that we all hurt. You can't tell somebody how long they can mourn over the loss of someone, how their feelings don't matter. You have to learn to value yourself more. We're coming into a new year, and I want everybody to start getting in tune and aligned with themselves. I'm going to be going through this whole year talking about everything. And then we could start on a fresh note for January with our love signs and everything. But sometimes you just got to take a step back and see life for what it is. It's like people are on the brink of losing themselves in all the chaos going on in this world. Look at that. You see this moon? When you are under the moonlight and you see the beauty of life, none of us know what tomorrow holds. All we could do is reside in today. It says, take a reality check. This is like a full moon in the Capricorn, whereas you look at life for what it is. You see the moments that bring you joy. You see the moments that make you sad. Capricorns like to stay in the truth. They don't want you to camouflage things. They want to continue to forge forward. Just like at Aries, they have that feeling of truth, but when they step back and they look at reality, they weigh their pros and cons and what matters in life. Sometimes the vision is clouded and they may not see things clearly all the time. But eventually, when they step back and get a reality check, they know what's important for them to continue to thrive, be successful, and to grow. Because the reality check is showing things for what it is. It's letting you know everything may not always be the way you want it, but as long as you keep forging forward and believing in yourself, they thrive. Aries thrives on sometimes the negativity from others propel them, because it's like, you want to tear me down, you want to break me down, you're only strengthening me. You're making me see things more clearly, and I realize that you are not for me. Aries is the ram, right? I will ram you. You are not for me. So why should I continue to listen to what you say? I'm going to keep ramming forward and believe you me. I am going to thrive. I am going to be a great success. Your negativity has propelled them to the next level. We experience so much in life, and we have to continue to believe in ourselves. Virgos will make you pay. They will get revenge on you, especially when you hurt them. Especially when you hurt them, they will be concocting different ideas and like a spiritual type spell in their minds. And it's like, if you think you're going to mess me up, you're going to be sadly mistaken. When they step back and they think of the things you have done to them, they will get balance in their lives, harmony. They will get through. Every sign has a weak point. All of us have weak points. But when you start focusing more on you, not being selfish, but confident, you'll realize what you need for yourself. And you won't allow other people to dictate the steps that you take in your life. Life is important. Your life is important. And if you continue to allow people to beat you up or beat you down, who suffers the consequences? Take a reality check and recognize your gifts, your attributes and what you bring to the table. Be able to feel things and move beyond that so you don't regress and go backwards. This has happened. I'm taking a reality check. It's real. I thought things would be different. Things change when you change. If you know that there's somebody that has the power to push your buttons every day, could be a co-worker, could be a family member, every day they still keep digging and sticking at you, and you stay there lost with that fury building inside of you, and you don't make a change, you know what? You may not be able to change their attitude toward you, but you can change how you react to it. You understand? My father and mother used to tell me, West Indian parents, okay, they used to tell me, never allow the left hand to see what the right hand is doing. I'm like, what the heck is that? What are you talking about? And my parents had so many quotes, so many sayings, and sometimes it used to drive me crazy. And everything now that I'm older, or should I say more mature, you recognize some of these quotes. Think of your family, the ancestors, things that they have said to you that at the time you laughed it off or brushed it off, but now when you're more mature and they're no longer here, you start realizing why they told you what they told you and apply it accordingly. Everything people say to you is a message. You can hear negativity in the voice of people as well as you can hear love. Messages that are sent to you may not land at the time that you expect it to, but it lands at the time it's supposed to. When you listen to hear, not to respond. When my mother would tell me certain things, I'm like, oh, brother. But at that time, my mind was too immature to receive what she was saying. You have to obey your parents, so you do certain things. I've seen kids nowadays disrespect their parents, cuss at them, cuss in front of them. I was never allowed to cuss in front of my parents. For the fear of disrespecting them. I mean, you could get a beating too, but it was like it wasn't something I wanted to do in front of them. I might have thought evil thoughts with certain things if I'm being disciplined, but I wasn't saying it out loud where they could actually hear. I remember slamming the door in my bedroom. My mother said, "Excuse me? Did you buy that door?" She said, "You don't slam no doors up in my house. You don't lock no doors up in my house." And I was disciplined immediately. And when you allow your kids to just run free and then they react with hate and negativity, disrespect, you sit there stunned because it's like, I gave birth to this child. Why are they talking to me in this manner? But you've allowed it for so long. Now it's like you can't control the situation. Kids killing parents? Are you crazy? Parents joke around. Remember, they would always joke and say, "I brought you in this world, I'll take you out." Yeah, Yeah. It's not supposed to be the other way around, where you give birth to a monster and they end up taking your life. You gotta